Hello. Welcome back to another episode of That Pop Culture Podcast. Joining me today is the man who wants to marry Goff, but he's unfortunately already married, Juan Perez. How are you doing today?
The problems of a monogamous relationship, am I right, boys?
It's not easy.
Cut
That
Matt.
was a lion on the line.
For real. How are you doing, bro?
Oh, I've been doing pretty good. I've been, we both have been busy with big work changes and job changes going on and everything, but
Oh, I'd love to talk about that.
overall, pretty good. Getting ready for the holidays and the weather change has got hands for sure. My brain is never happy when it's dark all the time, but
It's already starting.
oh yeah, it's like already getting dark outside right now, and it's not even 6 o'clock yet.
Yeah, I think it's fully dark over here. I mean, I know you're not super far away, but it is completely black outside.
Yeah, it's pretty close for
Well,
sure.
I guess the big
How have you been doing?
update that obviously anybody who's listening knows is that we had our first snowfall annoyingly early. So waking up to that wasn't particularly great. Jess left for work early today thinking that she was going to have to do like snow cleanup and salting and everything. Luckily, she was able to get out of it, but it's still a pretty big bummer. So you were talking about work changes. I guess I'll talk about that since we're talking updates. Did you talk about your big one? I thought we covered it.
I think we did.
Okay, well, just in case we didn't. He got a promotion at work around the same time that I was switching jobs. So that's why we haven't been as on top of recording recently, or even sometimes, recording and then not being out for a few days. I mean, you guys know how it is, how crazy stuff can get. But one of my big things, and I think we talked about it in an old podcast, is that I was going to be leaving my long-term job for a job at the Big Three. That did not work out. Did not work out very well. A lot of lying, completely dishonesty about what the job entailed, so I did not stay there for very long. But the good update, and I was telling Hunter about this the other day, is I ended up finding a really good job, good health care. And here's the big thing, because I just got the update of where the yard is and where I'm reporting tomorrow. Would you like to guess how close I'm working to this job, Hunter?
How close?
2.3 miles away.
That's pretty awesome.
Hold up. Thank you. Hold your applause. Yeah, I am so fucking excited about that, dude. The job I was interested in taking that I had started when I realized this was not going to work out, that was 45 minutes away. So going from a job that was 15 minutes away to 45 back down to literally 9 minutes, absolutely incredible. The person that I've been talking to, I think she's the owner, I believe, of the company. She seems amazing. Everybody seems really nice so far. The dispatcher seems really cool. It's still going to be trucking, sadly, but it seems like it's going to be a relatively good job. And my big thing is free healthcare and good healthcare. And that's really, really what I've been aiming for. That's what been my big priorities. My last job was amazing. And one of me and Hunter and Jess's close friends took over my last job. I trained him, and we were able to work together for a week before I left. But the big problem with that amazing company is that the healthcare is just not great. And, we're getting older. Obviously, we're still young, but we're getting older and everything like that. And it's just healthcare is one of those things that is extremely important to me. So that's why, I'm kind of making this big change. It always sucks leaving a place you're familiar with, a place that you kind of like, or not even that you like, because nobody likes their jobs, really, really, really likes it. But the people you work with can really make working significantly better. And my bosses were great. My coworkers were great. The job wasn't bad. Yeah, I'm just, that's my big update for now. I mean, we might have another one soon, me and Jess collectively about work and whatnot. But as of right now, I mean, we're moving and grooving. I haven't worked in a week, so that's been kind of hard. It's that time of the year when, money's always tighter. So, you just take it as you go. But it has not been horrible.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of, even on top of the regular, like, Christmas presents and everything, there's always a lot of unforeseen holiday expenses, I feel like.
Yes,
Especially in
absolutely.
Michigan, it's just like that time of the year when, like, the cold is hard on people. You get sick, so you might have to take time off work. The cold's hard on your automobile as well as your body. Like, there's always other things going on. Friends wanting to get together and do things, which is awesome. But with the world we live in, that is not always very inexpensive.
No, definitely not.
So
And
this,
actually, just today, Ricardo and Ethan had asked me if we wanted to go to a cigar bar over by him, and I'm just like, I just can't do it right now. It's just not something possible. I mean, I'm very lucky that I have a partner who works and is very supportive and is there for me when I need them to be. But I mean, it's still just tight. I mean, like you said, I mean, just everything. Even just like my car. I mean, I bought tires years ago. It's about that time to replace them. Haven't been able to do that. Like winter's coming, like Christmas, or just going and doing stuff with your friends. Like you said, just going and doing stuff with your friends, the gas, the alcohol if
mhm.
you're drinking that night. Just like little things like that. It just can really pile up on top of
Yeah, and
everything else, frustratingly.
I know if I drive to around your area and back, it's like $40 of gas or $50 of gas in my car.
Insane.
Yeah, so it's just the trips, not even including that, because I know I'll be going back and forth for my birthday's coming up. There's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas, and there's New Year's, and I know people are gonna have get-togethers on top of my family stuff. So um, it adds up.
Yeah, it does. And also just on top of the money aspect, I mean, even though doing a lot of that stuff is extremely fun, it's also just kind of exhausting. And this is that time of the year, like you were saying, it's dark already. There's already snow on the ground. It's just that time of the
Right.
year, man. Like, I'm never really excited for this time of the year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy November, December usually, but it's for me it's like January, like right after New Year's when you have all the high of the holidays and then you're starting to come down and kind of like realizing like, oh, I gotta catch up on all this stuff, and the reminder that just because there's all the holidays and everything, not everything actually stops. You
Yeah.
you make a lot more time to do things, but that usually comes at a cost somewhere else, whether that's like house stuff or whether it's uh whatever it may be. If you need to rest, it's tough to rest around the holidays, even though it's a restful time and that people are not working, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a break from things.
Yeah. Well, even like this weekend, Jess wanted to stay in. She was a little sick. Obviously, I haven't been working, and we just wanted to just hang out at the house. And then family stuff just comes up, and it's like, oh, well, I guess that's out the window. I guess we'll just go do shit all fucking day. Because we took down our Halloween stuff and started putting up well, she started putting up our Christmas stuff. So we didn't get to the tree because we were considering having a Friendsgiving. We're not completely sure if it's going to fit timescale wise into everybody's, busy holiday time. So I told her we should just go ahead and put the tree up next weekend. But it's just like even stuff like that, like stuff you like doing. It's just sometimes can be really exhausting. Oh, actually, circling back real quick to the job thing. So when I was getting hired into that one job, they told me about like holidays or whatever, and obviously when you work for the big three, you expect a lot of time off. They legit just was like, "No, you'll be working every holiday," and I'm like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, but you'll get triple time." And it's like, "Oh, that's cool. I mean, I guess I can just have money, but I won't have any time to go and do anything with it." Or just like on Christmas Day, just being like, hey, "Merry Christmas. All right, bye. I gotta go to work." Like, nah, that is so booty cheeks to just be like, "Yeah, you'll have this time off," and then no, you're not gonna get any of that time off at all. So frustrating, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, don't get me wrong. Compared to my last job, I don't need like the 2 weeks off from like a little bit before Christmas until after New Year's. Like, I don't need that much time off. If you'll pay for it, then I'll take it all off. But like, if it's not paid for, then I'm not worried about taking it off. But I also just don't want to work every single day. Like, that is such a weird mentality to me of just being like, yeah, but you'll make money. It's like, well, I don't value money that much. Like, I just want enough to be comfortable, and that's all I care about. I don't understand how I interacted with so many people that is all they care about. It blew my mind, dude.
Yeah, I mean I always feel like that's not that crazy of a thing, to just like value your free time more or at least as much as you value your time at work. But it seems like we might be in the world we live in kind of the odd ones out sometimes because it's once I feel like I have my bills paid and everything is okay, it's like why do I need to keep making more money?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to work 80 hours a week. That sounds horrible. I would much
Yeah.
rather like I'd
Soft hands, brother.
especially if
You got soft
especially
hands.
especially cuz like even jobs I've worked before where like there's a lot of overtime options and a lot of the time if you are not like self-employed or like a contractor, working overtime is not really that good.
It's not
Because so
beneficial
much
as
of
much
it
as people
comes
say
out
it is.
Yeah, so much of it comes out as taxes when you're doing that much overtime. And it's just like, yeah, you're making more money and everything, but like you're losing out on the whole reason you make money is to go home and relax and spend times with the people you care about and do things that you enjoy doing. Like that's the whole
Exactly.
reason you go to work, you know?
Yep,
And like
that's
yeah, there's
exactly it.
there's something to be said if you were in a position in which you can climb your career, like you can go up in the brackets and make more money and everything, but most jobs aren't really that way anymore.
No.
Some definitely are, and I do understand putting in extra time, extra hours if like you're getting something out of it in the long run outside of just more money. If it makes sense for your career, but like I don't know, there's a lot of ways that you can also better yourself at home,
Well, that's
that
my
are
main priority, to be honest with you, is that exact thing. And that just like blows people's minds. Or like when I was working with Dylan for that week, I was introducing him as, like I met him through my wife, blah 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 blah. And they were like, "Oh, how's your wife? How's being married?" And I'm like, "I love it. It's amazing. I like my partner." And they're like, "Yeah, you'll see eventually." And I'm like, "That doesn't make any sense. Why'd you marry somebody if you just go into that like, oh yeah, you'll see eventually?" Like, I feel like a lot of these people just don't like their partner and they don't like being at home, or they don't like their kids, or they just don't like this or that. And it's like, I cannot relate, dude. Like, I'm mad when I'm not like around people I want to be around, or like with my wife, or hanging out, or playing Xbox with the homies, or going to a cigar bar. Like, I don't understand why, like, just being here. Like, I understand like being able to buy nice things as a status symbol. Like, I don't like that. It's not my particular way of doing things. I don't think it's like I don't like it, but I get it. But also, if you're at work all the time, you can't even show off all the pretty things that you're working and getting all that money to buy. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, brother.
yeah, like getting a really nice car so you can drive it to work more often.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can park it in the work parking lot for 10 hours a day every day.
Yeah, in the literal middle of nothing. Because, like, where I was working, it was on the east side of Detroit in a just like 8 blocks in every direction was abandoned. So it was like the people can't even drive past and be jealous. Like, there's literally nobody here. It doesn't even make any sense to me. It was a very, it felt like the Twilight Zone being there. Like, it just didn't feel like any of those people were real. It just seemed very odd to me. And like, when you were talking about, valuing your time outside of work and, all that stuff. Like, I know some people who are in the medical field, obviously they make a lot of money doing that. But a lot of them will work 312s and then they're done for the week. Or, yeah, I think it's 312s or 314s, whatever it is for your 40 hours. In the medical thing, you typically do like the shifts or whatever. You work half the day one day and then half the day the other, whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's amazing because then I just don't have to work the rest of the week. And I'm like, yes, exactly. So, like, why do people just want to work every single day all week? I just don't get it. It just blows my mind.
I do think a lot of people who have that mentality of working all of the time, it is an avoidant behavior or a toxic relationship with like pride a lot of the time, to be honest. Where like
Soft hand, brother.
again, there's exceptions. This is a generalization. There's a lot of people who work a lot because they're trying to forward their career, not just because they're trying to make more money. But if you are just making more money to make more money and you're avoiding your family and your loved ones, and I feel like you're really kind of missing out on the point of making a living is so you can have a life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's not making a living so you can have a bigger checking account that you don't have time to spend. It's like I've worked jobs where I work a lot and then I'm too exhausted on weekends to do anything with it. It's just like, well, what's the point of this?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, like what's there's always more work to do. So
yeah, it never ends.
You can,
ever.
Yeah, you can put it off. Like you can do something in the meantime.
Well, here's my big thing too, though.
Make a
is
life.
These guys or these men and women that just want to work all day, every day. I think that is perfectly fine. I don't get it. It's not my thing, but I think it's perfectly fine. But it's when everybody that you're working with is like that, you're losing your bargaining power to not be there when they're only hiring people who want to live at work. And I don't want to be, because I'm one of those guys that there is time when overtime comes up. Everybody can always use a little bit of extra money. And every now and again, I don't see why I wouldn't do it, especially right now, because I need to get my money back up. You know what I mean? Like not working or whatever. So, because let's just be honest, guys, prices keep going up. But when you work in an environment where every single person you work with is completely fine with working 70 hours a week, like you know for a fact, you won't be able to not do that because that is the norm. That is the standard. And it's like people fought for like 50 years to not make that the standard. And I just feel like it's regressing in so many workplaces I've been in the last few years.
I think there's an element of it, to be honest, that is people have to work more than they used to. And so instead of saying like I don't make enough money, so I don't make as much money as my parents do, I need to work an extra 20 hours a week to make ends meet. They make it an identity, a piece of who they are, so they can attach it to pride instead of attaching it to necessity.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can say like I work 60 hours a week because I work so hard and I'm better than you, and I work 70 hours a week because I'm a big tough man and you're a little baby soft-handed boy.
I am.
Or instead of being like, I work 60 hours a week because the fabric of our society has been eroded to the point where I can't afford an apartment working 40 hours a week. And my teeth, I gotta pick.
Yeah, for real. The teeth, yeah, dead ass, dude. Well, that's the thing too, though, is like I said, is I always think overtime should be there. Like the place I'm working for right now, she says that overtime will typically always be an option, but we will never ever force somebody to do it. Like if nobody wants to do it, then it just doesn't get done. And it's like that is a healthy work environment. It's like the person who does need some extra money gets to do it. Or the person who wants to, get, like I say, I wanted to get just a few extra presents and then I know the option's there. Like that is good. It's just like when you let people force you into that. I don't like that. And you said something too that I wanted to bring up. I forgot.
It's certainly the mandatory element of it in that sense of like, I think it is good to have the option, and I often will pick up extra hours at work, and I'm usually the first person at my job, but that's more because my baseline is like 35 to 45 hours a week, not 50 to 60, and I'm like looking for another 5 or 10
right,
hours
exactly. Yep, same here. That's my thing too, is like if I'm only working 35, 40, which it seems like it's going to... Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to like sidetrack, but you said something earlier, and like you were saying, like working more hours, and then you make more money or whatever, and like well, anyways, this is what reminded me of it. Is like right now, I was talking to a few companies while I was looking for a job, and they were like, yeah, we don't pay overtime until after like 50 or 60 hours or whatever. And I'm like, what? And they were like, yeah, but you make it up because you work so many hours. And then that is, if somebody says you'll make it up, or like, we only pay this much, but don't worry, there's a lot of overtime. Like, if somebody says that, I just already know I'm not taking the job. Like, you've 100% ruined it, and that there's nothing you can say that can salvage it. Because, like, if excuse for why the working conditions are bad or the pay is bad or whatever is bad is, well, don't worry, you can make it up in overtime. It's like, no, die. How about that? You can make that up in overtime. I'm good.
It's like a really funny way of being like, yeah, we don't pay enough money, but if you work even more, you'll make as much money as you could be making
Somewhere else.
working
Yo,
less
literally.
hours. And it's just like, did you hear what you're saying? Like, do you, let's break this down for a minute. Like, yeah, you don't make enough to pay for your apartment and your healthcare and your food, but if you work even more, you won't have to eat food as much at home. Just kidding.
Well, I talked to
I don't
literally,
know,
dude.
but
It blows my mind. And like when I was talking to this one guy, there's this old guy at my gym that I talked to. He used to be a trucker as well. And he's just one of those nice old guys that he can't really lift a whole lot or do a whole lot of cardio, but he likes going to get out of the house and talk to people. So I talked to him. He's a really nice guy. And he was asking me how the new job went. I was like, oh, I fucking quit, dude. Place is fucking horrible. And I told him about the working and the overtime and everything like that. And he's like, I did it for 30 years to put my kids through school, college, and then even one of their kids I put through college. One of his grandkids he put through college as well. And he was like, I made great money and I paid for everything. And honestly, I mean, we're all living good now. But he told me legitimately, he was like, if I could do it again, I wouldn't. He was like, being gone all that time, not seeing your family, not seeing your, because he got divorced. He was like, I wasn't there for my wife when she needed me. I wasn't there for my kids when they were growing up. Is like, yeah, they had the money, but what's the point? And it's like, that's my whole thing. Is like, me and my wife came from not a lot of money anyways, and I'd rather be poorer with my partner and my friends than not, like, at work so I could have a cool car that I don't ever get to drive.
yeah, I mean, I've never heard someone or heard of someone saying like at the end of their life, like, I just wish I would have worked more overtime hours.
Well,
I
it's because
just
they got
wish I
soft
would have
hands.
worked a couple more shifts, and it's just like, you never, you will never really hear that, I don't think, because I don't know, like, what's, it does just feel like one of those things where if you remove your pride from the situation, and you remove like this societal expectation of like individual excellence almost, and just remind yourself like, I'm a human, I'm an animal, like I'm not even designed to be under this amount of workload and stress, like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially because I would consider me and you specifically. I mean, we're definitely a little bit more on the free spirited side, like a little bit more go with the flow, not be super regimented people. So that's even why, even in the workplaces that I pick, like even farming and doing all the stuff I've done throughout my life, a lot of my jobs have been almost no supervision at all. Like zero, almost like basically zero in every single job I've ever had. And it's like that's the sort of environment I thrive in, and just being there 80 hours a week under a watchful eye, like I'm okay. I'm a grown man, dude. I'm not a baby. I don't need people to just be watching my every move and be in there all day. Like I just can't do that, dude. But
Yeah.
it seems like all that's going to be, this seems like I think I got a good catch on this one. I was patient. I did freak out quite a bit. I mean, I think you even seen, I was kind of freaking out there for a minute, just not having a job. Like, that's just horrifying in this day and age. But I think it all worked out for the best. But we've been talking about that for quite a while. You gave me the really, really bad news. Do you want to talk about GTA 6?
Oh, that's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, totally. Is it 2040
GTA
already?
6, if you have GTA 6, if you have not heard, has been delayed again. And I think it got delayed a full extra year, right?
I think they're saying November. Yeah, it's a year from now, but it's the same year it was supposed to come out, allegedly. So it's supposed to be May 26th, now it's going to be November 26th. I mean 21-26, by the way, too.
Right.
Dude, I seen this post. I think Ethan had made, like, the joke when we were playing Battlefield, but I ended up seeing one later on in the day, and it was like, when you planned your first baby with your wife to be out in May, but they changed the game date till November, and it's just him sitting there with his wife and his new baby, and he doesn't have any of the paternity league to play GTA 6.
That is really funny, actually.
So fucked up. Cause I told Jess, I was like, I'm taking that week off. Like, there's no way I'm not spending my whole time playing that. And it's like, well, thank God I didn't put that in yet.
Yeah, I, to be honest, was also trying to figure out when there's supposed to be a big patch for Deadlock that's coming out in December, and I was already like, I wonder if I can line that up with the day that I'm sick.
When I'm sick, I'm really gonna have to play my cards right.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm lucky, I will get very sick for 3 days, right around the time the big new Deadlock drop is.
3 days. I feel like you're giving yourself a little credit there. It might be 4 or 5.
Well, I like to believe I have a good immune system, but it could really last a while.
Absolutely ridiculous. You know what? If you're going to bring up Deadlock, this is something I really want to talk about. You were telling me something about an update that they did put out for anti-cheating. What was that about?
Oh, this is a very classic Valve moment for sure. The anti-cheat is not just gonna catch people and be like, okay, you're kicked out of the game or you're banned or whatever because you're cheating. It actually is giving people in the game an option to either just remove you from the game and kick you out of it if I imagine if the experience is too bad, or your other option is you can vote to turn that person into a frog, and they will be hopping around as a frog that cannot attack or hurt anyone for the rest of the game, and then as soon as the game ends, they will be permanently banned.
That's so beautiful.
So there's they have given a little element of humiliation to the cheating that you can see that what their name is and they're a frog hopping around, so it's not like they just quit, like, oh, they probably left the game. Maybe they were losing or they had something come up or they lost internet connection. No, this person is a cheater. And they are going to be they're going to be a little frog hopping around for a minute.
Well, 2 things. I like public humiliation and I like frogs. So if you catch me in a game as a frog, just don't say nothing. You know what I mean? Just act like it never happened.
One of the characters I've been playing a lot in Deadlock, since we're on this subject, his name is Pocket, and he carries a suitcase around, or a little briefcase, and it's got unspeakable horrors, terrors inside of it that are like it's a secret. It's like from his parents' estate, and he knows it's bad to use it or whatever, but it's very funny because there's that background, and when he opens it up in the game for his ultimate ability, literally just all these spirit frogs start croaking and hopping out of the suitcase and jumping around.
Oh, hell yeah.
But in the game, it gives the people a spirit affliction and their life is drained away or whatever, but it's just so funny where it's just his voice lines are all this very I have this unspeakable horror, and then it's just oh, frogs. A lot of frogs.
Well, I mean, I've never met anybody that hates frogs. What was the name of this character? I want to look him up.
Pocket.
Okay. Let's see what this guy's about. How many characters are in that game?
A lot. Well, I mean, I think a lot, but it's not as many as some of the other MOBAs, but it's still in pre-access. You have to get invited for the beta still that is taking place, but you can just invite anyone.
Oh, okay. I see this guy. He's got, what is it, a gun? A gun in a suitcase?
He's got, the gun it's like a shotgun revolver.
That's pretty punk rock.
It's very cool. He's like a mage assassin, kind of he's all about doing big burst damage.
Oh, okay, now I see his frogs. Okay, that's pretty cool. Can you control them at all, or is it just your special is just them coming out and doing havoc, wreaking havoc?
That's just your special as they come out and they start croaking and hopping, and then everyone that's in the area of effect starts losing 4% of their health a second.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Have they given that an official release date yet?
No, but we are definitely getting closer because the big update in December I'm excited about is they're putting more of the visual effects on the map in the game. And they're supposed to be adding, because there's a lot of stuff that's like placeholders. So like some of the jungle mobs or like the NPCs are all look the same.
Okay.
But they're supposed to be adding specific skins to them based on where they are in the map. So like there's kind of like an underground area that's supposed to be turned into a sewer. So they might be like rats underground, and then there's an area where they're like in a bank. So they might be little like banker dudes with or like little mafia guys or something like that. So they're gonna actually add effects to finish a lot of those. They're supposed to in December, and they might be adding more characters. And there's always a big balance update for the game. Um, but they've been pretty much spent a lot of time the last 6 months or so since they changed the map on the game in quite a big way, and then they started fixing a lot of visual effects and starting to kind of polish off the stuff that's more what you would do towards the end of the development of a game.
Okay, because I know you've been playing for about a year now, and I'm kind of interested myself in playing something like that. I liked Team Fortress 2 a lot, so it'd be kind of cool to play something new from them.
It is very fun. It is ridiculously hard, but part of that is because we've been playing a lot, so we're playing with other people who have like 500 plus hours in the game.
Freaks,
Yeah,
including
I'm
you.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the same page here.
But it's one of those games I really enjoy because there's an element of self-expression with the characters because you can build you build items. You get an in-game resource, this souls, as you play the game, and you get to pick what items you build. So you can build items that make you tougher, deal more damage. You can do more ability damage or more gun damage, and like it's very rewarding when you like recognize, oh, I'm playing against this character and they do a lot of spirit damage, so I'm gonna build some way to protect myself early so I can survive better, or knowing like, oh, this person seems like they're not very good at dodging my skill shot, so I'm gonna upgrade my spirit damage so I can, if they don't dodge my shots, they're gonna die. And like you can kind of like react to what's happening in the game around you, or like you see someone is losing lane really bad against someone, you go, oh, that person on their team's really good and they're playing gun damage, so I should build more armor. And like it's cool that you get to kind of, the game feels dynamic every time because you change kind of what you're doing based on what is happening.
Oh, okay.
And that's probably one of my favorite aspects of MOBAs in general, is like they always have such a robust system of items, which the downside of that is that there's a lot of stuff you have to know. It's not a very good like pick up and play kind of game, unfortunately.
Yeah, you have to. There's a learning curve.
Yeah, there's definitely a big learning curve, but it's in my opinion it's enjoyable because there's just so much depth to the game, which with the kind of person I am, I get bored if it's a very surface level game pretty quickly.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
I get that.
Battlefield's cool because the role system, makes it very different, and the way your teammates are playing the game can make the games different. But certainly that's always been why I've liked Battlefield more than Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Is because Call of Duty is at its best a really good arena shooter game. But arena shooter games, especially once a meta develops in them around like what guns are good, what grenades are the best one, what perks are the best, become very boring, and you're just streamlining the exact same thing over and over again. It's like, how good am I at sliding around walls? How good am I at putting myself into a position to shoot someone first? Which is fun until you hit whatever your wall is, and it feels like you are limited, by how good you can actually get in those games.
Yeah, I just feel like my big thing, because Double XP weekend was this weekend in Battlefield, so I spent a lot of time on it Friday with Jimmy and Ryan, and then yesterday with Ethan, and when my buddies log off, I don't tend to stay on too much longer after that, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I've been trying to switch up my roles or whatever and try to do this and do that and unlock cool different guns. I even got Jess to play with me for a little bit yesterday. It was really fun, actually. But, man, it really is, I just think most of those I know it's like not as much an arena shooter, but most of those shooters, they just really, I do reach my point way sooner. I feel like Halo just tends to be the only one with the longevity. And that's not even completely true to just Halo, but Master Chief Collection, because there's just such a wide variety of different. Because every game's completely different, basically, from the other. So, I don't know. I just feel like I've been having a hard time in that.
My maybe controversial take is that a game can be okay and be great because of playing with friends.
Absolutely.
And that's acceptable. Whereas a game, for it to be something I want to do by myself without anyone else involved, has to be like exceptional. Like it has to be incredibly good or very addicting or whatever, or make me really crave to get better at the game and increase my skill for it to be something that I'd want to play by myself. Whereas if a game is fine, but it's enjoyable to strategize and play with your friends, then it can feel like it's a great game.
I agree. That's how I am with games as well.
Because just in general, the FPS genre for me at this point is kind of just like something I do with friends.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy it a lot, but I just don't have that level of like drive I used to really get better at them and like hone my skills, put in the hours, etc. Whereas I just feel like the reward for the amount of time you put into it is not as high as other games where there's more strategy to them.
I agree with that completely. I'm also just more of a story guy nowadays too. Like I prefer a richer background to what I'm playing compared to what I used to.
That's definitely how I like. If I'm gonna play a game by myself, I want to be part of it. I want to be really involved with it, and I feel like for playing a game alone, a story-based game does a lot better job drawing you in and making you feel like you're getting more out of it than a gameplay loop. And also just like one-player games like that are great for. I picked this game up, I played it for 30, 40 hours, and then I put it down and I was done with it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the bar for a shooter game to be good is a lot longer. Like, if I bought a new Call of Duty and I played it for 30 hours and put it down, I would be like, this isn't a good Call of Duty game.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that completely.
Because when you're making a multiplayer game like that, the entire intention is that there is a really good repetitive loop to it. There's a desire to get better, and like you understand what the system is, and that you participate in it. You play the games, you try to get better, you interact with your friends and whatnot. But with a solo player game that's story based, it's just like you do the thing. You go through it, and maybe it's a game like Elden Ring where there's New Game Plus and there's a lot of material in the game, so you get a lot more than 40 hours out of it. But if I play whatever, like when the next Fable game comes out, I was always a big fan of the Fable games. When the next one of those comes out, if I get it and I play it for 50 hours and get what I want out of the game and put it down, I'd be like, oh, that was a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's because your time spent is richer, it tends to be. You tend to have a richer experience over those 50 hours compared to when you're just on the same map. Because the games only launch with like 3 maps nowadays. If you're playing the same map 50 straight hours, you're not going to feel the same amount of accomplishment compared to going through an entire world that was curated at every inch.
And a big piece of that too is that one player and story driven games in particular do a better job of making you feel accomplished. Like you feel like you're finishing tasks, whereas like the arena shooters and the battle pass games of the world are very much like you did this thing because you feel like you should do this thing because there's a challenge in front of you, not because it's like progressing anything in a major way, especially games where everything is just aesthetic.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I don't want the Dragon Breath shotguns of the world to come back where you just like pay to get the best item in the game or whatever, but
that's the best part.
It does make it so you collect all these skins and you don't like 95% of them, realistically, maybe even higher, and it's just like you collect all these things just because it's kind of the thing to do, instead of like you are completing this task, you're learning more about the villain, you're learning more about your backstory, you feel rewarded for engaging in the process instead of it's something to do when I'm playing the game.
Well, we've already talked about that with like Assassin's Creed and everything like that. Like doing stuff for the sake of doing it is not nearly as fun as like when it's actually intertwined into something. but also doing anything where, or this actually, like me and you were talking about, like the anti-cheat thing in our private text. Some of this stuff, like paying to get these things, you're not really doing anything. You're just swiping your card. Like you haven't done anything at all to actually to get these. But even like the cheating, it's like a lot of that stuff, it's like it doesn't actually do anything. So why do people do it? Like when I was asking you, I was like, well, why are people cheating in a game like that? Because isn't the gratifying aspect as being better than people, not acting like you're better than people when you're actually not? Like, I don't understand that aspect of gaming that people seem to be so obsessed with. Like, if everybody collected if somebody collected every single skin in Call of Duty, all it means is that you just make enough money to buy all the skins.
Yeah. Or in a lot of the time too, even the challenges in Call of Duty and games like Call of Duty are not particularly skill based as much as they are time based.
Yes, absolutely.
Like if your challenge is to get 100 headshots, if you get 5 headshots a game or you get 1, it's still just a numbers game of how much time do you have to play the game. You know, it's because like someone who's really bad at the game but has a lot more time to play will get there faster than someone who's hitting 2 or 3 times more headshots than the other person but has only a few hours a week to play.
Right. Yeah,
so
I
it doesn't feel like
timed skill things tend to be a little bit more exciting to me. Like weekly challenges and stuff like that. Those are always way cooler than the ones that are just play the game for 100 hours and you'll probably get this.
Yeah. Yeah, the cheating thing is almost, I feel like we need to do more like psychological studies on people who cheat in multiplayer online video games because it's one of those, like, at the baseline, I get that it's a way to feel like you're good at the thing without putting in the work to be good at the thing, but it's like you're not actually good at it. Like, you know that. Yeah. Like, that's where it gets as a hang up on me is like whenever I play a game, even if I'm not playing it at the highest competitive level, I'm always competing with myself to do better.
Yeah.
No matter what, if it's Magic or if it's Deadlock or whatever it is, even if it's something stupid, like if it's like a Battlefield or Call of Duty and I don't plan on trying to go pro or be the best at the game and don't really care what my ranking is, I still am challenging myself to get better. I want to learn new mechanics in the game. I want to figure out new routes when I'm going through the map. I want to figure out what's rewarding because like there's that puzzle aspect is so rewarding to figure out what are you missing? And then when it clicks for you, that's a great feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas just getting the thing up front and having you don't really know anything about the game, you just hit all your shots all the time because you have an aimbot sounds pretty boring. Like, it's just like, why not just go play creative mode on Minecraft?
Yeah, see, that's the thing is cheating in a single player game, I absolutely get it because like, you're trying to break the game. You're trying to break the map. You're trying to explore in different ways. You played the game, and now you're trying to figure out different ways to play the game. But just shooting people on a map, the same map you played 1 trillion times, but you have more kills, but you didn't actually do anything like that, it's not breaking the game. That's just nothing, to be honest. It's literally just nothing.
A one-player game also, like the thing that you get out of a one-player game is a little bit different than the thing you get out of a multiplayer game, in my opinion, is there's an element of video games are about having fun. Like, at the end of the day, you should be having fun if you're playing video games. If you're not having a good time, I think you've lost the plot. Just straight up, I think it's that easy. With the exception of, like, if you're making your living off of it or whatever. But for most people that gaming is the thing that you do when you get home from work and whatnot, or on the weekends, if you're not having fun, you've lost the reason you're there. But with a one-player game, you're trying to maximize only your own fun within the scope of doing the thing. Like, of course, it's fun to use the cheat codes in GTA and fly the car around and do the things that break the game. Whereas with a multiplayer game, you are not only taking away the whole reason you play a multiplayer game, which is the competition, which is to compete. You're also making it not fun for anyone else at the same time that you're making it so you can't actually get any better at the game.
But that's probably what they like.
Learn anything.
They probably like doing that, though.
Yeah, that's why I almost feel like when it comes to multiplayer games like that, in cheating, it's like I feel like there could almost be studies done on people who chronically do it. And it's like, it's one thing to be like someone, it's like, yeah, I downloaded some cheating software and tried it in this game one time. versus the kind of people who are chronically cheating at every game that they play
Yeah.
is a very different sort of thing. Because as a baseline, I could understand people being like, "Well, I want to see what it's like to do that thing." Like, yeah, whatever. It's still crappy, but I get that aspect of it. But the kind of people that like every game they play, they go download the best cheating software and spend their time making a bunch of extra accounts because they know they're gonna get banned, and then go cheat. Because like this was a big thing, a big part of the reason I stopped playing Escape from Tarkov is because the cheating was so rampant in that game. I just could never understand why people would want to spend so much time on the back end of it, of making new accounts that are going to get banned, of redoing the tutorials in games, of like restarting over and over again because you keep getting banned. And then a lot of the time when you have to, if it's a game that has pretty decent anti-cheat software, um you're getting banned in the early ranks before you hit a higher rank when people are going to immediately know you're cheating. So you're really just crapping on a bunch of new people that if you played the game a decent amount, you probably could just beat them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you could just make a Smurf account, as people refer to it, of just like, I'm going to make a new account and play with low level people so I can like stroke my ego, which is a whole different thing, but a whole different issue. I think it's also a kind of lame thing to do ultimately, but it's just like, it just doesn't even make sense. It's not like you're cheating at poker and making a bunch of money off of it, or like you're cheating
Which is
and
cool.
embezzling money, or like getting some. You don't get anything out of it besides, I guess,
Kind of a
it's
headache.
cool to. Yeah, it just seems like there's so much back end to it that you have to do that's not even playing the game with the cheat code. That's just like you're doing homework so you can not get better at a game and then make everyone else have less fun. Like there's something psychological going on there that I just cannot grasp.
On the back end is like what you're saying is like even in Skyrim and Fallout, like where mods are encouraged, the homework you have to do to figure out how to make these things work is so goddamn boring. Like it's just like I don't get why people would want to spend their free time doing that. Just it's insane. But maybe that's the enjoyment. Is not even just the cheating and beating people and pwning them or whatever, but maybe just doing that, like fucking with stuff. I have
Maybe
no idea.
maybe their idea of the challenge is to get around people's software, and and
Yeah.
to the cheating aspect of it is breaking the game, and that's what they enjoy or something.
Yeah, but do it on
I
a
don't
game
know.
that's not super, super popular. And this is like, dude, I mean, I'm just trying to play with the 30 minutes I have, and you're ruining it.
Yeah, like I yeah, that one's just a tough one for me because like even I have been aware of people cheating in games of Magic with like no stakes. Like I think it's shitty and you shouldn't do it and it's bad to cheat at a game in general, but if you're like there's money on the line, it's extra bad because you're cheating other people out of their money. You're not just cheating. But it's like at least I can understand that there's an incentive to cheat when there's money on the line. Like there's an
Right. Yeah.
incentive that you get something out of it. When there's nothing on the line, like you're kind of just cheating yourself at the end of the day. You're cheating yourself out of like a real experience.
Yeah, dude. I have no. It does. It just we're not wired that way. I guess. I mean, there's no way we can understand it because we're just not wired that way. I have no idea why people do it. It's insane though. Especially now the games are starting to become more cross compatible. I've encountered
Yeah.
it more recently than I have my whole life.
Yeah, there will always be uh ways to cheat in games and people will always figure it out. It's just keeping it a manageable level so it's not corrupting your actual experience playing the game because honestly, I've played games where someone doing something that was like cheating or hacking into the game or whatever was actually humorous because it happened such an infrequent amount that it was surprising. Like a long time ago playing Halo 3, there was just somebody in our lobby that was the prophet floating around shooting the sentinel lasers.
Okay, that's awesome.
And it was just like it happened literally one time the entire time I was playing Halo 3, but it was so memorable and so funny and it didn't like make me mad in the way of like someone who's going to log into every game just to have perfect aim 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Or there's in particular in reference to deadlock, there's a very popular small cheat that people like to play, and you can sometimes pick up on it. It's hard. It's really tough. It's not like a super obvious one. Is in the game, unlike a lot of these type of MOBAs, you can just punch people. Like you have a gun and everything. You can just melee people.
Yeah.
But if you can do a light melee, which is really quick, or you can do a heavy melee where you kind of like pull your hand back and then punch, and it does a lot more damage. Well, people can also parry. So if you parry someone when they're trying to melee you, they get stunned for a moment. And in this type of game, if you get stunned for very long and your character's not like super tanky or you're super far ahead, you're just dead.
Yeah.
So it's really high risk. Well, there was a popular, it seems like it's less common now, but there was a popular thing that people would download that would literally just make it so you would always parry.
Oh.
So what
okay.
it would literally it would pick up on when someone was putting in the input to punch you, and you would always hit the parry button automatically. And it's just it's like it's a small thing like that, but at the same time it's just like, well, now you're never going to learn how to parry.
Yeah, exactly. So when it
now
gets
when that
patched,
cheat's
you're
not
just
available, you're going to be buns.
Yeah.
Like there's the in the immediate, yeah, you feel great that like you're getting kills in the game or whatever, but like you could also just hit the parry button on time. You could also just literally get good.
Well, the other annoying aspect of that too is like the developers put this in the game because they wanted this to be a mechanic, and now it's just completely useless. Like now it's just like an entire play style, like going in and mailing somebody, which it always feels amazing, is just completely cooked because people just don't want to take the time to learn how to parry. Because if I was playing and I could always parry somebody trying to melee me, like I would feel like God. So it's like I don't understand that at all.
It feels great whenever you pull it off, and it feels horrible when it happens to you.
Yeah, yeah, I bet it does.
But it's one of those things too, where like this is the last thing I'll say on this because I know I've been on a tirade about this, but I have a lot
Good,
of
we needed
a lot of
content.
thoughts and feelings on this topic in particular. Imagine playing Dark Souls or Elden Ring and downloading something where you always parry. That just seems so insane to me. Like, why are you even playing the game?
Yeah, you lose the whole point of it.
It's like now there's no challenge. There's nothing there anymore. Like, it just doesn't. It feels even stranger when you isolate it to a one-player game than a multiplayer game. But it's very, at the end of the day, very similar. Like, it just seems like the whole reason you play a competitive game is to compete.
Or the whole reason you play a difficult game is to have the difficulty and to overcome it and be better than the difficulty. And then, yeah, if you just mod it out, it's like, what's the point in playing that game?
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's another good example too. Is like, do you know how like some open world games will have just story mode? You don't really take any damage, and you're just there for like the story. We were able to squeeze a lot out of that, so I guess we're kind of at time. We haven't really had any questions over the last few weeks. Also, might be because we haven't really been on top of stuff. So definitely send us in some questions so we can take some time next week to really answer some stuff and, kind of get back more in the groove now that things are going to be calming down a little bit. Hopefully, calming down a little bit. Lions played yesterday. Big win, not against a big team or anything, but they won by a good amount. I think it was like 43 or something, or 46 or something to 22. That was cool. Michigan and Michigan State didn't play. Michigan State's booty cheek, so they really let me down. But Michigan State basketball started up, and they've really got off to a good start. So I'm pretty excited about that. I will have some stuff to talk about next week, Hunter. So I've been replaying Spyros and all the Crash Bandicoots and trying to go through my list of games. I finally finished Oblivion, done with most of the DLC. I've been able to get a lot done. So next week I'll have a good update because hopefully I can be done with all of the Spyros or at least the second one by then. Do you have anything else to close us out with, brother?
I got a new mouse for my computer and it feels like I have a new child. I don't know who this man is, and everything feels weird when I'm playing games or even just clicking through my tabs to figure out what we're talking about on here. And just wanted to share that it is such a weird experience to get a new remote or a new mouse or a new keyboard.
Other than
that,
I've never had that experience because I've never been a mouse and keyboard player. and all of the controllers I use are usually the same. But I will say the PS5 controller, I don't have a PlayStation 5, but the first time I picked up a PS5 controller was like its biggest departure from like the standard PlayStation controller. That was pretty weird for a while. That was pretty weird. So I could understand it a little bit, but honestly, that's in a realm I've never honestly really experienced.
Yeah, I had to sunset my old mouse because it kept randomly disconnecting or not moving anymore. So
It kept parrying
RIP.
when I was playing Deadlock. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why it was doing that just automatically every time. No, that mouse was I think 5 years in the line of service for like a $20 mouse.
Jesus.
So God bless his heart and soul because I guarantee you I got millions of clicks out of it.
Millions.
Millions.
1
billion clicks.
Get out of here.
All right.
All right. Feel free
that's my
to
cue.
like and subscribe. Honestly, guys, leave some comments so we can have some stuff to answer. And we will try to be a little bit more on top of, one, answering your questions and not doing it 2 months late. And trying to get this stuff out. And obviously, give Hunter your paychecks.
Yes, please. Then I can get more mice.
But
Compare
actual mice. Like live mice.
Yes, just a pocket full.
Or a suitcase full of frogs. Bringing it all the way back, guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Peace out.